With our template selected, we can now explore some of the settings in our options panel. Make sure that your options panel is expanded before we begin. The first option here is zoom to fill frame. If checked, this will expand your image to the full width of the frame area. Keep in mind that it will only expand images to the full width if the aspect ratio can be maintained without distortion. So for example, this image here, if we were to check that same checkbox, you'll notice that it becomes quite distorted and a portion of the image is also cut off. Okay, this one works well because it maintains a good aspect ratio. The stroke border checkbox determines the thickness of the border around the image, this white border you see here. So if you wanted to increase this, you could change the width slider to the right, and you'll see the border gets thicker and thicker. If you want to change the color of your border, you can do so by clicking this color picker box and setting the new color that you'd like to use. The cast shadow setting controls the look of the drop shadow behind the slide. We can't see it right now because the slide background color is black. So let's go ahead and change the background color to a lighter shade so we can see the drop shadow effect. Expand your backdrop panel, and that's located over here. Now where you see background color, make sure there's a check mark. There should be a check mark there by default, so it shouldn't matter. And now click the color picker over here. And just choose a lighter color so that you can see the backdrop, but don't go too light that you can't see your text anymore. Although we may need to change the color of the text anyways. Okay, so I'll go with this color here. So you should now see the drop shadow visible behind the slide. Opacity controls the transparency of the shadow. So for example, if you want a very opaque shadow, move this to the right. And if you want it lighter, go to the left. The offset controls the depth of the shadow. The radius controls the intensity of the blur effect. And angle controls the position of the shadow. So in addition to this slider here, you can also rotate the angle wheel over here. Now next we have the layout panel. Here we can set whether we want to make the guides visible or hidden. And you can see the guides all over the viewing area here. So if you want to hide those, just uncheck this. We can also control the amount of padding around our image. So the padding is over here, all around each side of the image. So similar to the book module, we can control the left, right, top, and bottom padding separately, or synchronize them all with the link all option. So I'll just do it separate for a second. And you can see I can increase the padding on the left, the right, and so on, top and bottom. If I link all, then you'll get equal padding all around. So all sides move in sync with one another. The aspect preview allows you to change to either 16:9 or 4:3. And this really all depends on the device that you'll be viewing the slideshow. If it's a 16:9 widescreen, you can choose that. If it's 4:3 standard, you can choose that. But we'll go back to screen, which conforms to the aspect ratio of our current monitor.